What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for thelines.com, playpicks.com. Going to talk some Monday Night Football as the New Orleans Saints head over to the West Coast to play the Seattle Seahawks. I've got a look on this one. A bet already in the count. Bet been there for a while, actually. Didn't even get the best number in this one, it looks like. But talk about that. A couple of prop options as well as we are here. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button. We really do appreciate it, guys. We're growing pretty big here, and that's all because of you guys. We do appreciate all that. So please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Everything we do is absolutely free at the Lines of Play Picks. Give us a thumbs up and then let us know in the comment section how you're going to play this game. Do you like the side? Do you like a total? Do you like a prop? Whatever it might be. As we sit right now, you can see it is 4 pretty much across the board. There is a 4.5 still left out there if you want Seattle in this one, but pretty much 4 across the board. You can see a total 41.5 or 42. Super low for today's NFL, obviously. Couple different reasons for that. Of course, we know Geno Smith's going to be starting a quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. There is not going to be any Russell Wilson, at least for another month or so. So it's the Geno Smith show playing into that total for sure. And of course, Saints offense hasn't been completely dynamic up until this point. If we look at the injuries in this one, what we do know, Taysom Hill is out. Deontay Harris, wide receiver, is out. Running back Dwayne Washington is out. Defensive end Peyton Turner is out for the Saints. Now, it's not all bad news. Center Eric McCoy is going to be back for the first time since week 1. They're also going to have left tackle Teron Armstead out there. And 3 different guys are eligible to come back off of IR, and there are indications that all 3 will. Traquan Smith, wide receiver, who, by default will just instantly come in and be the number 1 wide receiver because still no Michael Thomas. Defensive end Marcus Davenport and linebacker Quan Alexander are all eligible to be activated. So we shall see. Imagine they will be on Monday. On the Seattle side of things, Alex Collins, running back, guard Damian Lewis, defensive end Darrell Taylor, and corner John Reed are all questionable. That being said, Alex Collins has gotten the vote of confidence that he is going to be out there and is going to be able to go in this game for Seattle. So if we take a look at this one, guys, this one is kind of pretty simple, right? You've got a middling offense in the Saints, and Jameis has not been bad. He's not been good. He hasn't been bad. But middling offense, right? They're 17th DVOA, 14th by Pro Football Focus. They've been the pass block win rate is at 11th overall in the league. So been pretty good there. If you look at their early down success, kind of middling in the pack, 18th early down success rate. Points per play, they're 7th overall in the NFL, which is actually really, really good. And the red zone offense is number 1 in the league as far as scoring touchdowns. So they do have some stuff going for them. Now, the one thing they don't have going for them, they just don't have very many big plays. And that's just kind of the design of this offense, the way Sean Payton's been running it. 28th in explosive passes, 27th in explosive runs. So you're not going to get very much, kind of highlight reel stuff out of this offense at all. But fortunately, they're going up against Seattle's defense, which has been pretty bad so far this year. If you look at this, and I'll continue to scroll here if you want to look at this in all the matchup stuff here. If you take a look at what we've got going on with this defense, it's been bad. 22nd DVOA, if you look, but it's really the pass defense. 24th DVOA, 24th according to Pro Football Focus. And the thing is, they don't get any pressure, right? They don't blitz. They're 25th in the league in blitz rate, so they don't blitz ever, but they're not getting any pressure with the front 4 either because they're 26th in pressure rate generated. So they don't blitz and don't bring extra guys, but they're not getting it done with the front 4 either. So that's kind of a problem, right? So they've got to figure out how to do something with that. The other thing is when you take a look at this defense, what they've really, really been bad at, and that super benefits a team like the Saints with a guy like Jameis Winston at quarterback, because you don't want Jameis in a ton of 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 7s. Early down success rate against this Seattle defense so far, 26th for this defense in early down success rate. Early down EPA, they're 30th in the league right now. So this defense is allowing teams to move the ball early in downs. And what that does is create much easier to convert, right? And to continue and sustain drives. And that's, I think, a really good success for the Saints team against the Seattle defense. Now, I could read you the Seattle's offensive statistics, but they're really kind of pointless now, right? Like when you have Russell Wilson at quarterback to Geno Smith, it's probably the biggest drop off in all of the NFL. So I could read you all this stuff. It doesn't really matter. It's all really moot, right? So, I mean, at least on the defensive side of the ball for the Saints, I can tell you what that offense is going to be up against. And what they're going to be up against is a defense that's been stout again this year. Last 3 years, the Saints defense has actually been really good. Number 3 overall DVOA right now. They're really, really stout against the run. Number 2 overall DVOA. Number 4, according to Pro Football Focus, if you look, the run stop win rate's in the top 12 in the league. And early down success has been hard to come by against this team. This defense is keeping people from moving the ball and having, shorter third down, stuff like that. Early down success rate against right now, they're 6th in the league. Early down EPA against, they're 4th in the league right now. Points per play allowed, they're 1st overall in the league, this defense. They have the 7th overall third down defense, and their red zone defense is number 1 overall in the league. Now, they hadn't played a murderer's row schedule or anything like that, but still, I mean, they're getting it done every single week. You just don't grade out like that and have these advanced metrics and have all the stuff like that if you're not getting it done every single week, week in and week out. So Geno Smith has a pretty tall task ahead of him going up against this Saints defense. And the other thing that's going on here, which is why I think this favors the Saints so incredibly much, is Pete Carroll is just still running this kind of archaic offense and this archaic mindset that he wants to be a run-first guy. Run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. Well, you're going to be running the ball into the heart of what this defense does best. Their run defense is best. Not to mention, they're going to get Quan Alexander and Marcus Davenport back, which is only going to make this defense even better. So now you're putting Geno Smith in situations where he's going to have to convert these 3rd and longs, throwing the ball. And how's that going to happen? How's he going to do that? And I really do think that just favors the Saints team a ton. What Seattle wants to do favors the Saints defense. And then what also favors the Saints defense is putting Geno Smith in 3rd and long and having to convert 3rd and long situations. So it's kind of like a double whammy here of things that benefit the Saints defense. So for me, I played this early. Like I said, I took the 4.5. I mean, there is a 4.5 out there. I played Saints minus 4.5. I didn't think it was going, I thought it'd go the other way. I didn't think it was going to go back towards Seattle. So I have a worse number than you can get right now. But I backed the Saints at 4.5. And certainly you can get a better number than that right now. But I think the Saints defense here is in a really advantageous situation. And the offensive side of the ball, again, Jameis has been fine. He hadn't been great, but he hasn't been losing games for the Saints team. He hasn't been turning the ball over. He hasn't been making a bunch of stupid plays. And I wonder if coming off of the bye and knowing that Taysom Hill was going to be out this week and that he's not having to be, worried about any trick plays or, even the thought of getting benched if he played bad is not going to make Jameis even a little bit better this week. So doing that. Not really worried about the total here. I think that this total is appropriate, especially when you consider, that Geno Smith could have a real tough time in this one. So the low total makes perfect sense to me. Not going to be playing that at all. On the prop side of things, guys, a few different things I want to look at here. First and foremost, if you look at Geno a little bit here, and as I mentioned, what if Pete Carroll at some point is just forced to have to get rid of what he wants to do, right? Which is run the ball a ton. What if they get down a ton? What if they just realize finally that they just cannot at all run the ball? Well, you look at the attempts here and it's sitting at 30.5. So far, New Orleans against, because teams, again, can't run the ball against this New Orleans team. Quarterback attempts against New Orleans so far this season, 35, 38, 51, 40, and 41. So the closest to this 30.5 was 35. Then 38, 51, 40, and 41. Because what happens is you realize really quickly you can't move the ball on the ground and then you just have to start throwing all over the place. So something to consider here on the Geno over on passing attempts. The other thing I want to bring up that's in correlation kind of with this is Tyler Lockett. And of course, if you go to our page here, just go to NFL and you click on Monday Night Football, it'll take you to this page, and then this awesome little prop finder here. You can find the best number at all the different books out there. But if they're going to be passing more, well, does that lend more looks towards Tyler Lockett? And the reason I say that is because Marshawn Lattimore should be shadowing DK Metcalf. That is most likely going to be the situation, at least for the majority of the game. Probably not every single down, but I mean, a lot of times he's going to be shadowing DK Metcalf, which would lead us to alternative targets for this Seattle team. And of course, that would be Tyler Lockett. Don't know if I want to do the yards, but I think that the over on receptions is intriguing, though it looks like this juice has started to get out of control here a little bit. I imagine at some point this thing will get bumped a little bit. Might be worth just playing the over on 4.5 at reduced juice here. You might even get plus money if they end up moving it or something like that. If you don't worry so much about the juice, then I do like the over on the 3.5 on Lockett as well, which also gives me another alternative target here for Seattle, and that is Freddie Swain, who's become the de facto easy number 3 receiver here for this team. And with that, I think it's pretty easy for us to take the over on 15.5 yards for him. This one I'm not quite as confident about. So again, maybe you want to put less on this, half unit, quarter unit, whatever it might be on a prop like this one. But if we assume they have to throw more, that's more targets for everyone. If we assume that maybe DK Metcalf will be slowed down just a little bit by the Marshawn Lattimore coverage, then it pushes more targets towards, as we just talked about, Tyler Lockett, and then here in Freddie Swain as well. And 15.5 yards is really not a lot. He could get there on one catch, obviously. But if we can get 2 out of him, I think we get here on the 15.5 yards. On the Saints side of things, Alvin Kamara. Everything run through Alvin Kamara. We know that. So his rushing yardage, you can see, is sitting here 91.5. Not really so much interested in that. Rushing attempts, I think there's at least a slight lean to the under on the 22.5 here. I mean, here's the thing. They can't just use Alvin Kamara as this like complete and utter bell cow. I mean, he's just not built for that. And so I think there's a slight under here. I might throw a little bit on that one, but the one that I'm looking at the most is combined rushing and receiving. And you see this 127, you're like, man, that is a lot. And I admit it is a lot. But running backs facing Seattle so far this season have combined to average 181.5 yards. 181.5 combined yards for running backs this year. Well, most teams are running out 2 and 3 backs, and I completely understand that. However, Alvin Kamara has accounted for 82% of all yardage from running backs for the New Orleans Saints. That's insanity. So he's the only guy getting any of the yardage out of the backfield here for the Saints. If you do the quick little math, 80% of 181 easily gets you over the 127.5 combined yardage there. Really like that a ton. If you want another little thing there that helps you along and maybe you get you a little bit of a nudge here, Seattle has allowed the 3rd highest success rate and yards per attempt on running back targets so far in the 2021 season. So do really like that a lot as well. Now, not listed, I imagine. We'll take a look. It wasn't earlier today, but we'll see if anything. Yeah, nothing listed so far for Traquan Smith. That said, like I said, he will look to get activated, right? And if he were to get activated, Traquan Smith in this game, some yardage were to come up for him, like I said, he'll become the de facto number 1 for this team. So just food for thought here. Seattle has given up games to Julio Jones of 128 yards, Justin Jefferson of 118 yards. Adam Thielen had 6 catches against them, and only for 50 yards, but he had 6 receptions against his team. Deebo Samuel had 8 for 156. Robert Woods, if you remember from just a couple of weeks ago, had 12 for 150. Cooper Kupp had 7 for 92, and then Deontay Johnson from the Steelers had 9 for 71. So you can see these, whoever the number 1 is, and even a number 2 situation in Thielen going for 6 and 50 against the Seattle team has had big days. So just as long as the Traquan Smith props don't get out of hand whenever he gets activated, just keep that all in mind. Julio, 6-128. Jefferson, 9-118. Thielen, 650. Deebo, 8-156. Woods, 12-150. Kupp, 7-92. And Deontay, 9 for 71. So lots of catches, lots of yards for every single, kind of primary receiver that's gone against Seattle all season long. So I'll be looking for Traquan Smith props as well whenever those actually get posted after he gets activated at some point on Monday. Guys, let's hope the Saints go ahead, show up for this one, get us a nice little cover, and then also love all those little props that I talked about as well along the way with this one. As always, everything's absolutely free, so please go ahead, subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. And you're going to be eligible for our big giveaway. We're going to have a big giveaway here sometime in the next month. And as long as you are a subscriber to the channel, you are going to be eligible. So you should do that. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up and then let us know in the comment section how you're going to play. Do you like any of those bets? Are you against me on any of them? Let me know. Perfectly fine. It's cool. As long as the information I said here helps you along the way, be sure it's fine. If you want to fade me, all good. Whatever it might be. Good luck on all your bets here on Monday Night Football, guys.